So here's the format for a cover letter, and this is actually a non-traditional cover letter because technically speaking your cover letter should only be on one page, and I've included 2 pages here, but I've added a paragraph to my cover letter that sort of explains what the second page is about and how I've taken the liberty to attach a little bit of qualitative information about my skills as an instructor. So when applying for a position, people would really quickly be able to see something which I think is really important for them to see, which is how do my customers, my students, what do they think about me as a teacher, right? Like how have I done in the past from my customers' students' perspective. But the main thing you want to look at with this cover letter, I've just included this because pretty much this is exactly what my cover letter is, and I wanted you to see it as it is. And the main thing you really want to strive to do when you create your cover letter is have it on one page. So this is an exception to the rule, and you can kind of like see how I handle that exception. But really, the main thing you want to go for when building a cover letter is having it on one page. And it's also really good that I'm including this for you because you're getting to see how we have consistency between the cover letter and the resume. Up here in the header is exactly the same. And then you also get to see the template for how the cover letter should be put together. So this is just a basic kind of business template for putting a letter together. And writing a cover letter is really a pretty difficult process. It's kind of like writing really concise poetry and making every word count. So for instance, recently my friend said, could you write a story in 6 words? And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? That sounds impossible. Like, you know, write just some sort of a fictional story. And he said, well, there's this contest where you write a story in 6 words. I'm like, that's crazy. Nobody could have ever done that. And he said, well, here's one story that somebody wrote in 6 words. And I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to write it for you. Okay, 6 words and a complete story with a beginning, middle, and end. And here's the story. Wow, that's an amazing story, right? Like, that just says so much in 6 words, in 3 sentences. And Hemingway wrote that. So just to give him credit, right? But he wanted to say, look at what you can do when you're being concise. Look at how much information is conveyed in only those 6 words. And so I'm going to take that off because when you download this, I want you to download it and not be confused by what the heck is that doing on the cover letter. But I think that is an amazing example of how much you can convey in a very short amount of time. So, you know, when you write your cover letter, you just want to make sure you have a good introductory paragraph, a good closing paragraph, and then summarize everything in the middle. I kid you not, before I worked with this professional career counselor who helped me sort of craft my materials down to be as professional as they could be and present me in the best form that I could be presented, you know, or maybe there's always room for improvement, but I kid you not, my cover letter used to be 2.5 pages long, and it wasn't 2.5 with just a little ancillary information, quotes from former students, customers, right? It was 2.5 pages about everything I've done in my career, and this is so much better. And I couldn't see it when I first started working at the career counselor. I couldn't see how can I condense everything down to just 1 page, and yet finally we got it there, and it was just really that exercise of making things really condensed. So I hope this cover letter is helpful to you. You know, some of the main takeaways that you want to get from watching this video is that, you know, this part right here is consistent with the resume, so it creates a little bit of a continuity between the documents. And then here's the main template for how a cover letter looks, and it should be on just 1 page, and that it's a real process trying to figure out what are the highlights that you want to include and condensing those down so that you can convey to people really quickly in 1 letter, 1 page, why you're the right person for the job. Because it isn't just, you know, who you are and what you've done, but it's also, which is the content, right? It's also how you package it, which is the form. And so I hope this cover letter is helpful to you.